All right. All right. 3, 2, 1. ARMTV.
What's up, Gary?
Uncle John, we are live.
We are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another Tuesday night extravaganza right here on ARMTV, starring, of course, myself, Uncle John from Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. And, of course, that stupid music comes on. There we go. That's better.
So, did you see that? I don't know how to stop that.
I don't think you can. I've been trying to figure it out for a long time.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are following along, I cannot get the video. The app auto plays it, and so it double sound. Yeah. Jason Merlot's in the chat. Jason, hang out. You will come in. We got to do some setup first. Just chillax. Let yourself zone into the show. We have some sponsors here. NatFit.
Gary, look.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Check you out. And then Western Survivor. I'm waiting on my... So I think Adam said that I wasn't explaining. What's your Western Survivor spiel? How do you describe the spiel?
I don't really have one yet because my deal is Adam was good enough to send me a couple packages of jerky, but I'm on like super diet right now, right? So I can't have it until I hit 208.
That is not
until I hit 208.
No, that's not true.
It's true.
Dude, you could lose weight on that.
Well, maybe, but it's not part of the diet. If it's not part of the diet, it doesn't go in my mouth.
What's your diet?
Chicken, rice, a little bit of lean ground beef, oats, protein.
Well, I'm going to say that that's like 100% protein and good carbs. And
it is, but there's a lot of sodium, right? Is there sodium?
It's no preservatives added.
It's true, but it is what it is. I just do what Paul tells me to do.
Here's the deal. I could take Western Survivor. If I lived on Western Survivor, I'd lose a lot of weight. If that's all I ate, that's totally good for you.
Well, then I think
he does not add anything. It's 100% natural.
I know.
It's dehydrated. Man, you're looking studly, bro.
Oh.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to get through tonight. And I can't
so much.
So I'm just updating people. Don't bombard me with condolences because I don't need it. Everything's fine. But basically, I'm living in Chicago because my wife's father was 92 years old and having health problems. And for the last 2 months, I've been taking care of him. And he passed away last night. Oh, so right now, I'm going to help you do some setup of the show, but then I got to get out. And I really would like to work tonight. I'm fine. It was a really good bonding experience. There was some, when I met him, I always felt like he was like, "Oh, are you good enough for my daughter?"
Right.
And, when you're having to take care of something, you really bond. And, so I really feel like we became friends that last few months. And so it's been a good thing for me, but I have not. So as you guys know, I was hot on arm bet, trying to arm wrestle as much as possible. But because of, I'm not really concerned about getting COVID and getting sick, but I can't give it to a man I'm caring for. So
right. Yeah.
Now that sadly he passed away, I plan on getting on the table, and I didn't know how many months it could go on. So I was scared about going to events because I've been like the primary caretaker. But look for Gary Roberts. Look for Gary Roberts to start arm wrestling again because I no longer need to be as tightly quarantined. Okay.
Gotcha.
Man, there's so much.
Rob's in the chat. RVJ's in the chat. He says, "Gary, that was a monster video. So many good times." That was an awesome video.
RVJ. Man, Rob Vision. I got to say something, Rob, and don't be mad at me. I watched your video and you're like, "I'm grown up. I'm not that tough talking New Yorker." Dude, that's the guy I love. That's good for television. The tough talking New York. If you're really gonna do social media, I mean, you're really good at commentating. I can tell you're awesome in front of the camera and you can do all that business. But Where's Austin? I love that guy too. But anyways, I understand you're all grown up. I even understand you have family, kids, and all that. But man, don't hide that guy too much, because that guy is so fun to. I just love that clip. So fired up. The back and forth. If you haven't watched it, the back and forth between him and Brent. And unfortunately, I had a lot of the matches that they were talking about. It was just like, if I think about after parties, it like stands out as like a very strong, good memory for me. And I'm not just being biased because it was mine and Don Fritchie's tournament, but damn good times. Okay, tonight. Don't get me wrong, just giving a nod for hard work. I'm still that dude. Yeah, please still be that dude, because we love that dude. Okay, so I'm not going to be, this is a must-watch show for me. A few things. Travis called me up. He's like, dude, you need to get on this tournament, like March 27th. We have $3,000 in prize money, busting out the ROTN format.
Waxahachie, right?
Waxahachie. So we did the ROTN on Saturday. You were there. That was just an overall.
Yeah.
I want people to understand that it's for the regular classes as well. Like, we're doing 170. We're just throwing a dart at the weight classes. There's many different versions we can do. But ideally, as we start small, maybe a little lighter weight classes. I mean, less numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not yet like totally in our 50th event. So we're starting 176, 209 heavies. It's March 27th, a Sunday. It's going to be Sunday, March 27th or 8th. I can't remember which one. So the 176 guys will come up. The idea for my tournaments, my format, forever and ever and amen. If I have a tournament, what I want to do is, if you're arm wrestling, you arm wrestle and you're done. That's my goal. Like, I want you to sit back and enjoy the rest of the classes. Like, your time slot is 1 o'clock. You know that at 2 o'clock you can tap a beer and relax. I'm not going to break up the finals. It's going to be one class. It's going to be like a race, 176 to whatever. Line them up, heaviest to lightest. Now, I have a correction. I got caught up in the ether of Paul Lynn. As fun as it was watching him
dominate,
just keep going and going and going, I recognize that in my tournament, the top two guys, I want to put them automatically into the 209 class, because I would love to see the lighter guys mix it up. My goal is to find pound for pounders,
right?
Guys who can mix it up in any class. So you have to have a cap. And we're thinking right now, maybe you just put this in your feather tonight to discuss. We're thinking for first place, it's 2X. 16 guys in the class. First place would be 32 wins.
Okay.
So 2 full rounds to get there. That's the thinking. Travis needs a flyer. So.
Oh, so you need to like figure this out. I need
to like lock it in. But I'm going to put on there, like, you know, Jason Merlot's coming in. I'd love to hear his thoughts. He's got, in fact, okay, well.
Also, RVJ, if your wife can figure out how to get you on Zoom, get in here too, because I want to talk to you about your curl and about what Engen said about your curl. So please, if you can figure out how to get on here, click the link, get on Zoom. Jason.
What's up?
Okay, Jason, just hold on before we get your thoughts. Just hang out. We heard you. Sound check. Great. So the thinking is first place will be 2X. So 2 rounds.
2 times around.
2 times around. And then just because of time constraints, second and third and fourth would just be 1 round. That's the theory. Hash it out and tell me if I need to fine tune it, because I have to make the flyer like right now. Travis needs it. So that's the thinking. So first and second place automatically move up. Then the idea would be the heavies would be regular. If I can get more prize money, maybe not in Waxahachie, if I could get more prize money, then that's when, after you have your top 4 in 176, top 4 in 209, top 4 in heavies, then you would have a overall final where you could just have no rules. Like winner longest streak gets bonus money. You could pay out X amount of matches. You could do so many different things. But here's my thinking. Are you ready?
I don't know.
So the theory is, how do I scale up? Because I think the idea begins to fall apart if you have 40 guys in the class, because it takes so long to go around. So Travis and I were talking, and we're thinking about 16-man classes would be the max. So let's say I have a super star-studded giving away 30 grand and I have 500 people show up. You would have to either get down in other ways to get to your top 16, or you just add more weight classes. So the theory is, if I was a world championships and I had every 10 kilos a weight class, then you'd have your 20-man 154, 165, 176, 198, or you know what I'm saying? Talk it out. I still need to fine tune this for a flyer. So Jason, I'd love to hear all your thoughts, poke holes in it. We got feedback from the promoters. They loved that everyone was hot. They're slightly concerned about potential injuries if you were to do it in a tournament format, like having guys just to go out and start blasting people. So therefore, if you do this in a tournament format, being warmed up is absolutely a key thing. So that's potentially one topic tonight that I'd like to hear about. Then we have Igor. You were telling me he doubled down.
He quadrupled down.
Okay, so I'd love to hear your take on that, other people's takes on that. I don't know if you caught the Mike Celiar's show last night.
I only caught about 10 minutes of it.
Okay, well, I brought out my concerns about Wal. I couldn't hold it in. My concerns on Wal, I'm the big social media guy, right? It seems weird to me that they did a big push in television in September, and then since then they posted 2 videos on their YouTube channel, and Facebook is just happy birthdays and memes. So right. I'm concerned Wal's not coming back. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I feel like if I was in charge of Wal, I'd be doing more to keep the name in the air. So I'm scared about that. That's a topic. ROTN's a topic. Igor's a topic. Is Wal coming back a topic? And then Joseph Drelak, he posted, I have 2 dates towards the end of the year. Don't squash my dates. A lot of you promoters seem to put tournaments on my dates. And I'm like, is that really a problem? Do tournament directors like put in the same like 2-state span, put tournaments on top of each other and not like, is that a real problem?
Well, I know that promoters have a lot of beef. Like if you're pulling into if you're showing up with a new date and coming into their territory, then people get pissed at you apparently.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, is there any, so I looked and I see that there is like another Texas event within a week of Travis's event. And it's like, oh, we did it. March 20th. I think the next, oh, sorry. No. TAL 3 is a week or 2 later in Louisiana, right?
TAL's canceled as far as I know.
Yeah, it's all on hold now.
The April event is not,
as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I just saw Jeff Frank say that everything is on hold until he gets till rules change for him coming into Canada and not having to quarantine for 14 days and all that stuff.
Because now you have to quarantine for multiple days if you're coming into the United States, no matter where you come in.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
that's why I can't go to Waxahachie.
Oh, okay. So I've got about I've got about 10 minutes. Alex is in the chat. I'd like to hear you guys real quick before I skate out of here. Poke holes in the ROTN. What's wrong with it?
Jason, how about you start by giving us your experience, because you were there, you just lived it, you did it. So where are you at on how it went and some of the things you thought we could, tighten up on?
So the overall on it, I mean, the concept I think is super interesting. The way that it was held in an overall format was really cool. I think it, a lot of guys really opened their eyes to this, and it looked like a lot of fun, and it was definitely a ton of fun for me, even getting my ass whooped on it. It was awesome. I think it's great. The idea is great. One of the initial concerns was just the lightweight guys. There were definitely top level lightweight guys there, and it was almost like they were kind of like a stepping stone for the higher weight class guys in the ROTN. So I just don't think I think there's a little room for improvement for figuring out what we could do for the lightweight guys. But I know, Gary, that you were saying, a weight class type of deal with that.
Yeah, here's the deal, man. I want to run my whole tournament like that. And so I was talking to James, and he was like, I don't know about, I like the idea as an addition, but I don't know about replacement. Ooh, is RVJ on? Oh,
Wow.
Snap, my man. And here's the deal.
Unmute yourself, Rob. Unmute yourself.
I think you have to ask to unmute.
I did.
Okay, so here's the deal.
I got that shit. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
This is all brand new. Mute this fucking guy.
Yeah, you got to.
All right, thanks.
Okay, hold on, Rob. Hold on. Before you jump on, we want you. Just give me
I'm
one
just
second.
sitting here. No, that's cool. Do your thing.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to say this just, I was around the sport long enough, but before I left, I said to myself, double elimination bores the fuck out of me. It just does. If you look at my ROTN 2009, it was double elimination to the finals, but then I did super match finals, semifinals. I did best of 3. And then the final, I did best of 5. I was already experimenting with changing it up. I'm not trying to replace double elimination. I actually hope that every promoter in the world stays away from my idea, because I like it's unique, and I believe it's going to get views on YouTube, and I want to start producing my events so they're television friendly, out of the box, no editing necessary. That is my goal, because that's what I believe the future is. People are coming in to pump $1 million into the sport. If you want to stick with old brick media, CBS, television, ESPN, be my guest. However, last time I checked, the NFL had 84 million people watching it. Alex's channel gets 25 million views a month. I mean, I don't give a fuck about TV. If someone gives me $1 million, we're producing straight to YouTube, and we're trying to make that shit as exciting as possible, out of the box. So by all means, please keep doing double elimination. Please. I don't want to replace that. I just want to do something different, that when you show up to my event, I want it to be more like you show up to like a TV studio. You recognize you're producing something, and you're an athlete / I don't want to say actor, because I want it real, but I want you to know that it's the end result is the viewer. And I want you to recognize that we want you to get paid. We want to bring the sport to beyond the arm wrestling community. And tournaments, I left the last LA Fit Expo 2015, and I was like, oh man, I'm not excited. So anyways, that being said, Rob Vincent Jr., when I'm going through this footage, I get so excited. I was like, this is an after tournament. It's just after pole, and you and Brent Rocker. It's like, I love that moment. So it was really like heartwarming to go through that. And I was like, oh, I got to share. I've been trying to stick with the early years to get it out of the way. But when I saw that, I was like, I'm jumping to 2009. Got to give me some RVJ out there.
Yeah. You know, it was good because you got a picture of me holding Travis in my hand and smashing him. Dude, that was good. That didn't really make a lot of mainstream TV, as did my win on Dave Chafee. So when people say, like, who'd you ever beat in your life? I'm like, well, wait a second. There was a time once before I fucked my shit up that I was actually on a hot run.
Yeah. No, dude, you were that
Hey,
video.
can we just say it clear, just in case that video is misconstrued, because you did a real good job with the editing. I did bust Brent's ass pretty hard there, right? We all agree?
Yeah, I just broke it up into 3 sections because I wanted.
Yeah, but at the end result is I did hold him and talk to him and bust him, right? I'm just curious because in case he comes back and wants to be a pimple on my ass, I did bust him hard, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I like both you guys. So I'm gonna stick with the cliche that was after polling, and I'm gonna stay impartial and let the viewers decide. Hey, your volume, can you turn it down just a
My volume?
Yeah, you're.
That's probably because I'm talking loud, but the truth is you're asking too much of me.
Okay. All right, fine. I have a follow-up question. You guys, at the end of that, there was some wagers made, and I was looking. I couldn't see if you guys ever met up again to have a fresh for fresh.
We did, and I found out Ryan Clark owes me at least $50.
So when did you guys meet up again to solve that?
When I pulled at the UAL for the belt, and
17.
in 2017, no, not 17, 15, 16, I don't know what year it was, but I won, and I beat Brent in a super match. So I think somewhere on there, somebody was piping up for $50, and I want my $2 fucking dollars.
All right, we'll try to get that paid. Uncle John.
Yes,
you're
sir.
in charge.
I'm in charge. Did you make me a host?
Yeah, I made you a host.
Beautiful.
Chatters out there, please know that Uncle John works for tips this evening. Any super chats, all go to my man here for working for free. Please go visit his channel, Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. It's my goal. I was thinking about this. I was like, oh, how do I build an audience for this show? Every one of you motherfuckers who want to build your social media, just come on this show Tuesday night and plug your shit.
There you go.
That way, as we continue to grow, we're growing about 700 to 900 subs a month.
You know, can I interject in there for a second?
Yeah.
Based on what you were saying before you allowed me to speak, I really like what you were talking about for the format moving forward for the ROTN and the resurgence of it, and kind of your thoughts on the sport and the format. As an athlete, I like the idea that when you keep them hot, you keep them hot. You run through. Because my biggest downfalls for me have come from getting hot, taking a 4-hour intermission, and then coming back to the game.
Right.
I like, truthfully, it's not a big stroke session. I like what you're putting out there. I like what you're trying to do. I like what you're trying to, promote. I like the direction that what you're preaching.
Thanks. It's 100%. I have nothing to lose. It's like everyone else is hosting so many tournaments. Like, I'm not trying to step. I just want to do fun shit on the side. I'm putting out, like, I don't know if I can duplicate what Don Fritchie did. I mean, he gave me $60,000 with no strings attached, but Kansas City, and said, give it away. And I believe with this YouTube business, our audience has expanded. I believe someone else is going to give me some money, and I'm going to have fun giving it away to you guys, the people who I believe are exciting, deserve to be, superstars. And abso-effing-lutely, when you come to the table and you're hot and you're on fire and you're screaming, the last thing I want to do is turn off the camera and have you sit down in the audience. I'm going to keep on you. I'm going to give you more people, and I'm going to say, bitch, slap all them hoes. I mean, I think I would use this as an example. I try to watch a lot of YouTube videos of tournaments. but when I'm not familiar with the, usually I turn them off before I'm finished. When I clicked on Paul Lynn's video that he uploaded, it wasn't our video. Paul, what's up? Share our video. Not just kidding. When I watched it, I couldn't look away because it kept moving. There was no downtime. It was the same guy that didn't. I was like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, see, even I'm still engaged. So I like I'm gonna run with it. And if someone thinks it doesn't work, wait, I have to fall on my face to actually see that happen. So that's it. Uncle John.
Beautiful, Gary.
You're the man. Rob Vigent. Thank you. What's your YouTube channel?
What is it?
Rob Vigent.
Rob Vigent, RVJ. I don't know. The wife does it. I don't know. RVJ.
What's your plan? I hear you're going to be putting out more content. What can
I'm a little bit of a well-rounded person. I've got some innovative workout ideas that have never been seen before. I got some ideas outside of arm wrestling because I'm more than just an arm wrestler. And I've got my own takes on my theories, like yourself, on the sport, where it should be, and kind of things that nobody talks about. So just my own little spin on it. It's just a little bit of what makes me me.
Well,
Excellent.
Among all those cool shit, add in who you think you can bitch slap every once in a while, because I like that.
Oh, I got a long list, man. A long list.
Okay. Jason.
Yes.
Surprise! I want to hear more of your thoughts. I envision anybody else out there who wants to run a show. Use this as an opportunity to practice. We're sticking with Tuesday nights. Uncle John's in charge of this night, but I wanna hone commenters and hosts for this show. Guys, peace out. Got to go spend some time with the family. And somebody said, "You talk too much, Gary." Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
No, there's no such thing. He's full of thoughts.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm a talker too.
And RVJ, I miss you.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, I know you didn't want condolences, but I just caught your story tonight. Condolences, and take care of your family, or we'll catch up soon, buddy.
All right, thanks. And Jason, look forward to meeting you, sir.
Absolutely, Gary.
Uncle John, you should be glad you're not showing him a Waxahachie. I bitch slap with two hands.
Gary. You're so lucky that the COVID is a thing. You're so lucky.
I was gonna tell you, but I was gonna reach out. I was gonna grab two hands, and I was gonna force you to do it.
It wouldn't be a problem.
Oh.
Let's be realistic. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're kicking things off into the serious portion of our show. Before we get into it with Jason Merlot and RVJ, we do want to catch up on some super chats. We saw a bunch of them coming in. Brad's Lawn with $4.99 says West versus East. Mike's Madness for $1.99 says Uncle John's looking swole. That's the most correct super chat of the evening. Thomas
RVJ
Connor with
got
$5.
something coming.
Whoa. He's super swole.
Thomas Connor, thank you for the $5. We've got a few more down here too. You guys are going crazy tonight. We got Badlands Arm Sports for $5. Lethal Arm Assassins Network, Paul Lynn for $5. Thank you very much. Mazel Jador at $3.99. He says, I thought I did pretty decent on the curl until I saw Rob, which we are going to talk about in a moment. We also have Jace for $5 says, this is for Rob to upgrade his internet. There you go.
I'm in a fucking basement, y'all. Listen, I got a weird situation, and I'm in a basement. I might as well be Anne Frank right now. Be glad that I'm even alive and talking to you.
We are so privileged. So privileged. So happy. We even got a $19.99 super chat from the one and only Rob Vigent Jr. Can you believe
Yes.
that?
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
And I whooped everyone's ass in that room.
Beautiful.
You did see Travis run away from me, right?
Well,
Ooh,
you know,
one of
he's
these.
pretty good.
One of these.
He did bail away. I pinned him.
And then we have finally had Joe Woodland for $5. He says, check out Mazel Jador's channel. The guy is a beast. Absolutely, he is a beast. He is he's also my nutrition coach. So if you like what you see, head on over.
Oh yeah, he's serious.
Yeah, super serious.
Yeah.
All right, so I know we're going to talk about ROTN a little bit, but I got to get this out of the way right away. because you guys have probably seen we're doing the show ARMPR on Fridays over on Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show. We did the back pressure thing. It was very, very popular. And now we're moving into phase 2, the second lift, which originally I deemed to be the Engen standing dumbbell curl. Now I've kind of gotten the boys together. RVJ gave it a shot. He gave it a rip and got, what was it, over 100 pounds on your first video attempt?
Yeah, I ran it up to about 103 and then left the question marks.
Yeah. So did you see Engen's comments on Facebook today about your lift?
No.
So this is originally intended to be the lift that Engen did in the video. Engen says the lift that you did is not the same lift for 2 reasons. One, he says, I think your arm, he wants your arm to start a little bit lower. And 2, he doesn't want the elbow to come forward at all. Now, I don't know if I care enough. I just want to...
Well, no, you know what? On that, my arm, he wants the dumbbell in front of you, correct? So it's a weight-loaded dumbbell. It can only go so far in front of me before I got to remove my leg so the fucking thing can hang lower, right? I hung it down as low as to a point where it was hanging as low as it could while resting against my lap. And then I curled it up, and I think if you watch my shoulder movement, the shoulder movement was nil. And the elbow drive was nil. I'm going to say right now, if I look at my curl videos, that was a curl of fucking curls. And it's not because I did it, because I'm my biggest critic. I'm my biggest skeptic. If anyone thinks out there that they can point something out, I wouldn't dare put something online that somebody thought they could see that I couldn't see. And I call bullshit on that, because that curl that I did right there, as clean as I did it, I'll do it in any other fashion you think you can put upon me, because I gave myself the worst restrictions.
Right. So
yeah, there's more in the tank, motherfucker!
I do agree there was more in the tank. So I'm putting out my official first ARMPR video on Friday, and this is what I'm thinking I'm going to do. It's not going to be specific to Engen. It's going to be a standing dumbbell curl. I am going to put Engen's video on there. I'm going to put a clip of Rob's video on there. And I'm going to say, look, this is what we're shooting for. Somewhere between this and this.
But wait a minute. Do you think Engen's video was cleaner than my video, or mine was less clean than his?
I think that I don't care. I think that I want...
That's not an answer.
Huh?
That's not an answer.
Well, here's what I want. As the creator of ARMPR, Rob, I want to facilitate as many lifts as possible, right? And I don't want to have to be the one who says, oh, nah, we got to measure Rob's arm. It's not, it needs to be 2 inches lower.
No, you can tell if somebody's, no, lower means dick. Because really, the real weight of anybody who understands leverages happens when your forearm's at parallel. So if you go lower than parallel and let the thing rest, you don't use a body momentum to get it up. You don't use, if you go lower than parallel and you then curl it up without a momentum, as soon as you get lower than the parallel to the ground, you're at the maximum feeling of what the weight is going to be to via gravity and shit. No, but if you rest against your lap, like, put it this way, Denis Plankov set a world curling record, and that motherfucker's arm doesn't go past 45 degrees.
Right.
Think about it. Physically, it does not go past this. So he set a world curling record, but yet here we are talking about my angles. As soon as you go lower than parallel to the floor, you're feeling the weight of the weight. And there was no momentum. It was a bicep-driven force, and it was fucking easy. There's no end. Just understand that. And so, of course, somebody out there wants to shit on it. Guess what? Do it like I did it. Show me. Go do it like I did it. Do it exactly like I fucking did it. And then we'll talk.
New plan. I'm just going to cut this, and I'm just going to roll that clip right there. Just fucking do it like I did it. That's fine.
That's all. You know what? It's so easy. Just do it.
I love it. So on Friday, we'll have as clear an explanation as I can, which I'm sure for the internet masses will not be anywhere near close to good enough. And I will be strung up by the trolls, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
I will also do my initial max lift, which is going to be way lower than 100 pounds. I can pretty much guarantee that, but we're going to do it anyways. So be on the lookout for that. And Rob, thank you for doing that lift. I'm excited to see what else you might have in the tank for that one.
Yeah, that was freaking impressive, man.
It was impressive. It was very impressive. All right. So we got multiple topics. I don't know. So Gary wants us to talk more about the ROTN. I want to talk a little bit about PAL and Igor and him going, full bore with himself. And then Gary wants us to talk a little bit about WAL too. Rob, you got the WAL shirt on.
Yeah, this sucks for now my new YouTube channel. I have like 3 shirts that I recycle because I'm like a stay-at-home dad. And I just keep recycling the same shirts so it looks like I don't ever change. Because all my all my time and energy is like getting my kids like new clothes, but I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I'll just wear this again. So it looks like I wear the same shit every day, which is about 75% true. And I only got 3 shirts that I like. So yeah, I got the WL shirt on today, but that's not for some like strategic plan for this show.
Subliminal messaging.
No, it's none of that. It's just literally like, I like this shirt because it's so old and I wore it so much that it's soft.
Yeah, that's the key. That is the key.
Comfort.
Another super chat from Joe Valentine, $5. He says, I just showed up. RVJ, I salute your response to all the call-outs that you've gotten when you were on Neil's show.
Oh, yeah.
How many call-outs did you get? How many call-outs did you get after that?
Well, I got a precise number if I dial it down. If I think about the parameters of it being, I would pull anyone in the world with the years of drug testing for all the money, and I meant it. If I dial in the numbers with my abacus, 0! Fucking 0! Nobody wants to put up the money!
Oh, my God.
I am shocked.
No, it was at the Neil show. Yeah, no. So, yeah, that wasn't some calculated move, but that was part of the PED talk, and I said I would pull anybody if we took a year's worth of testing. And then it led into my own personal video of questions. But, no, I haven't got a match yet. I'm hoping. I mean, I know Ryan Bowen is dying to pull me. Daniel Moser is dying to pull me. All they've got to do is follow the very simple parameters and poof. See? It's fucking easy. See, they all think it's hard to make it happen. I'll do it for 20 grand, 50 grand. Tell me the number and follow the parameters. And then watch the silence.
That is, it's an interesting thing because there's not too many. I don't think there's ever been anyone who has made that type of challenge in recent history, anyways, that I know, and says, "Come at me," and that's something I like. Now, is that something you think could ever be done under the WAL banner? Is there?
Oh no, this wouldn't be a WAL. This wouldn't be a WAL thing. This would be a me thing.
Right.
I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of bullshit for this. Because this is like pulling back the curtain. But my riffs that have happened with WL is because we signed a testing contract, but testing never happened for 3 years.
There was never a
and
single
me,
test, right?
as a natural athlete, got tired of the rigmarole. So it led to problems, and it led to me asking questions. So anyone that ever wants to check my integrity, understand that at one point in time, I removed myself from the wall because I was so perturbed by the lack of. Now, you want to go have a TV show? Go do it. You want to go have the WWE? Go do it. But I'm an athlete, so I'm going to look out for my wants and concerns first. You're going to look out for your wants as a business first. I get it. So that wasn't a WAL thing. That was me saying, okay, everyone wants to play it like it's no big thing. It doesn't exist. Here's an issue I'll put out there. So that was a personal issue. It wasn't a Wal issue. Wal has nothing in my life as far as any of that shit. They just make a cool shirt that I can wear apparently for the last 365 days straight without rotting off my body. Congratulations.
There's something to be said about that. No.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna let some other people in here. You guys do know that this is a call-in show. You can come on, you can ask questions, you can be a part of the conversation. Gary and I are putting a little bit more pressure on. If you get into the chat and then you find yourself overwhelmed and you're no longer participating, feel free to get the hell out. So that's just a overall blanket statement in general. So we're bringing in Evan Keller, good supporter of the show. He's been here, there, and everywhere.
Up, Evan.
Quite a while. So, Evan Keller, let me get you to unmute yourself. There we go. Evan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You got a question for the evening?
I got a couple things I want to start off with. First, Jason, great job at the tournament.
Thank you.
I liked the video. It was good stuff. Rob, awesome job on the curl challenge. And John, I think you made a slight error. First of all, diet is starting to show. You're looking good, buddy. I think you made a slight error in calling it the Engen Curl Challenge, only because that gives him permission to critique the awesome work that we saw from RVJ.
Good point.
Oh my God. I got to buy this guy a fucking beer. Jesus.
I agree with you. I agree. So my initial plan was, because I like the lift. I enjoy the lift. It feels good to do that lift. And I'm like, Engen did the lift. I'll talk to Engen. He can give me some tips on how he's doing it. But as I do this show, I realize that people are they just get home and they look at people's form and they're just like,
Let me ask you a question. If my name was Rob Vigentikov, would that lift have been good?
Perfect. It would have been perfect.
Perfect. It would have been, I was the next stud, and it would have been beauty. Right?
Yeah.
And hey, I get it.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%, Evan. And I think moving forward, I will take the spirit. It will be focused on the spirit of the lift. I'm not going to go to everybody's house and measure how far they are from this or that. Viewer submissions are not going to be scrutinized at all, so they can do all sorts of weird stuff. People on the leaderboards, that's where we'll have a vote within the group. To me, Rob's lift looked ridiculous and good. So yeah. I didn't have any problem with it at all. And then I just saw Engen kind of, pissing on it earlier today. So yeah.
I agree with Rob that parallel is really all that matters. Whatever you do from parallel down maybe is extra kudos, but that's where the real work is.
Right, but when you look at like something to the front of you, you can only lower it so much to the front till you're hitting your lap. You're in your lap. You know what I mean? You can only go so low. You can't go down to the side of you because then you start going to the side in a weird way with a humongous dumbbell. So if you're going to bring it to the front, you can only go so low till you're hitting your leg, which is where I was. Trust me. If Engen wants to put up all his Turkish dollars, I can curl that motherfucker from my side.
Oh my God.
Trust me.
Engen also made a point to say that this is not a lift he would max out on. This needs to be a 4 to 6 repetition.
Of course not. Because none of his Europeans can beat my number. I'm going to tell you what right now, I'm going to fuck all those numbers up of all his heroes. But I haven't won an EAF yet or a WAF yet, so how can I be valid? How can I be valid? I might as well be bagging groceries in the world of arm wrestling shopping. I might as well be the grocery boy.
You know, now that I think of it, maybe we're approaching this wrong. Maybe the lift should be by any means necessary.
Stop. Don't do it. Don't. That shit was clean. I couldn't even imagine. I only posted because I was like, how could someone get weird about this? Perfect. I'll post it. Because I got some weird numbers. If you want to see a little bit of body English, I got some really weird numbers. You would think fucking Levan and Levan's great uncle were doing.
You can probably pull up your own body weight with some, a little body.
With a little bit of weird numbers, I got some shit that Levan, I'd have him sleeping under his covers like Scooby-Dooby-Doo, peeking out over the night thinking the boogeyman was coming for him. No bullshit. So add body English, please.
Did you say earlier that in a strict setting that was your best to date?
No. I said I had more in the tank. I did those back to back within about 5 minutes without a warm up, drinking a half a box of wine. True story. I don't know. I'm like about 215, 220, 225 if I'm not hydrated. So embarrassed about myself.
Is this the heaviest you've been, Rob?
I got about this heavy about that time of the ROTN. Maybe I was about 215. And then when I had my first kid, I got a little comfortable with my wife being pregnant, eat whatever I want, but it's not because I'm like deadlifting and doing all the other things. I'm literally just like living life to its fullest, and my version of fullest could be considered like problematic for some people. I don't know, but no, I'm heavy, but with that heavy, I just started grabbing weights and they feel good. I feel strong. I feel real strong.
Yeah, a lot of times putting on a little bit of extra weight.
Yeah, the difference of like 200 to 210 or 215 is a big difference for me.
That's wild.
Nice. Evan, did you have that was a great intro to the show? Do you have another concept?
Yeah. So on Gary's question with
Can you do that?
how to run that tournament or the brackets and that with a big number. So coming up in the next couple weeks at an undisclosed location, I'm taking part in an 8-man round robin. And the way it's working is all 8 of us are facing each other opponent once.
Yep.
At the end of that, the guy with the most wins is in first and second, etc. First and second place then have a super match to determine who takes all the money. We're all pitching in money at the beginning. So you'll have 7 matches. Let's say I go 7-0. I am in first place. I'm going to have a super match with you, who is maybe 5 wins, 2 losses, and we'll determine. Unless second and third are tied, then I'll automatically take first, and second and third will have a super match. But I think that format could be used, like Gary said, what if 300 people show up? That format could be used if you broke a bracket into groups of 8 or whatever number you choose. And the winner of each one of those could then take part in Gary's thing. That would eliminate so much time and eliminate the need for a 2 or 3 day tournament, because he foresees this blowing up and having hundreds of guys entering in that.
I think that's excellent. And
break it groups of 8 and narrow it all down that way.
Yeah, I think that's excellent. Just the whole idea of the RTN, depending on the depth of how many rounds you do, you can bring into this strategy. If you go on a heater like Paul Lynn went on a heater, depending on how many more rounds there were, if he wanted to take a break, he could strategically pick a spot where he takes a break and then rests a little bit, and then on his next round he could run train again. So this whole idea of the ROTN, like I said, bringing strategy into it, depending on how many rounds, is excellent. I think it's excellent.
Yeah. It's definitely a flavor. I think it's really going to come down to Gary's desire, because Gary, I like it too, to see Paul Lynn go on an absolute tear.
Right.
But then to have a function, like you're saying, Evan, at the end of it, where it really, cleans things up a little bit more at the end. So you don't have all these loose ends going everywhere, and you're not really sure how many matches are here, how many matches are there.
Right. And I think it might weed out the huge gap in if I'm entered in that and RVJ's entered in that, I'm probably not flashing him right away. He's going to have 400 matches before that happens. So that would weed out that huge difference, because it would only be the winners of each of those 8-man classes. So then your final group that's competing would be a tighter group in terms of ability on the table. There might not be as many easy spots in the draw.
Would you do any seeding with the brackets, or would it be random draw?
It's hard to say. I was thinking about that because
if you get like say
question coming.
Right, so you understand where I'm going. If it was like me, Todd Hutchings, Paul Lynn, and Storm, and we showed up at an event, would you separate us via brackets, or would you put us all in the same bracket by random draw, where 3 of us could be in a bracket and 1 could be by themselves?
Right, that's the thing. I think you need to, just because otherwise you may end up where your 5 best guys all got knocked out because they all happen to be in the same group together. Right. And now your very best guys competing with guys way down the line in terms of ability. So yeah, I think you might have to seed it in a specific way. I think it's obvious on how to do it though. Like, let's say you get 50 guys show up. 5 of them are clearly the favorites. Those 5 you put in separate groups. Everyone else you could do random draw or whatever. But I think generally Gary or Travis or whoever's hosting this event would have an idea of the big standouts.
Yeah. So, well, the other interesting thing is, because I think the ROTN, the way it's being envisioned is kind of by weight, right? So within the categories, you're going by weight. Now, out here on the East Coast in Canada, we do a Superman tournament every year. It's quintuple elimination, only 1 weight class, heaviest to lightest, right? Now, when you have a situation like we have in the East Coast, there's a lot of people are very close in ability and power, right? Within their like weight category. So like guys that are 50 and up, there's a lot of them that are very close. 2 to 250, same thing. So we end up with very light guys placing super high, like top 5. We have like 170-pound dude, and we've got guys that are 300 pounds that are placing, 30th.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between, let's say, a tournament where you have 1 RVJ and then a bunch of just medium level open pullers versus the same tournament with RVJ, Todd Hutchings, Paul Lynn, all these guys together, because they're going to have to beat the shit out of each other too. And then that changes the whole dynamic the rest of the way down. So it's variable. It really depends on the talent pool that you're drawing from.
But did Gary not say he's going to do 3 different weight classes? Because the thought initially was 1 wide open and stack it lightest to heaviest, but now he's decided to do 3 classes, right?
But still, as far as I'm aware, still
within each class.
So he might do 200 to 300 pounds, but the 300-pound guy is going to be on the top, the 200-pound guy is going to be on the bottom, so on and so forth. But I really think it needs to have a little extra planning as to who is in there, right?
Right.
Because, if I go to, some Joe Schmo tournament and I'm the dude on the East Coast and everyone else is an amateur, I'm never going to lose, right? So it kind of takes the suspense of it out.
Right.
Yeah, and I think I was thinking based on weight classes. Like this 8-man thing I'm taking part in coming up is all of us are roughly 200 pounds. I think the heaviest is about 210, 215, and the lightest is 198. So we're all pretty tight in there. But yeah, if it's a wide range of weight, it would be tough to do it.
Also, everybody really likes the idea of Rob Vajentikov. They're really enjoying that.
Dude, life would be so much easier. And I would have so much more accolades if I could I'm going to City Hall tomorrow. I'm going to change it. Life would be so much easier. And everything I ever did would be validated in like 1 minute as soon as I stamp that shit that I am now a son of Russia.
And people would have to go through a top 8 tournament just to pull you.
Yeah, that's right.
Imagine that. You gotta win the top 8 tournament just to get the honor to serve my wine at my table side. How do you like that?
Nice.
Oh, this. I'm gonna start critiquing Angan's critiques.
Yes. Please do. Please do.
That'll be your own series on your channel, Rob. That'll be your own series.
I'm critiquing critiques. Calling out fake critics.
Critiques by Vajentikov. That's a whole new line of work right there.
Yeah, we got it. We're going to get it.
All right. So Evan Burgoyne was just in the waiting room here. He wanted to talk about ROTN, but then when I went in to get him, he's now gone. So if you want to come back, Evan, come on back. We got Cobra Rhodes in the chat. Cobra Rhodes. Cobra just started up his channel too. Can you believe that?
Well, that is going to be excellent.
Give that.
Everyone needs to get over there and subscribe. I saw you mention it on Facebook, and I went, there was like 24 subscribers. We got to get that number higher.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for better or worse, I'm letting Evan Burgoyne in this chat. If he can figure it out, we'll let him do his Evan Burgoyne thing for a bit and see what kind of information he's going to bring us. Is he coming in? Start your video, Evan. Please start your video.
John, you realize you're going to have two Evans, both from Ontario, in this chat.
Oh, God. Is there anything worse?
This could get spicy.
It could very, very quickly.
Yeah, get some more wine, Rob. Get some more wine.
Unmute yourself there. There we go. Evan Burgoyne.
What's happening, guys?
Not too much. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic.
You got any drink with you there?
Nah, I gave that shit up.
Oh, that's a lie.
Yeah, that's definitely a lie.
So, what do you have to say about the ROTN?
I like that format and the way they've done it. I've been to a tournament that Devin put on, the Richmond Rip, where he ran it similarly, except he didn't do the whole weight seating thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, you take however many people are in the class, multiply it by 1.5 to get how many total wins you need to become the champ. Now, he did it a little differently because there was a whole team thing to it. You could register 4 people from your team, 1 to each weight class kind of thing. But we cheated. We put all of our 4 guys into the same weight class because it was the biggest weight class.
Right.
And then we could drop matches to each other. And then we could all get like that 18 wins before somebody got 19. And we just racked up so many points in that very last class of the day that nobody could touch us.
Are you releasing a scandal right now, Evan?
That was a team thing. I don't even know what Rob's saying. So with this being single, not team event, if he ran it the same way, that whole, multiply by 1.5 to get how many wins you need. And you just keep track of how many wins each person has when they go out. They just come right back into the list at the same spot again when it gets around to them again. And then everybody just keeps racking up their wins until you have your first, second, and third that have all hit that number.
So if you have 20 guys, you're going to look for 30 wins.
Right.
So then when the guy hits the 30th win, then he finishes, he becomes first place.
Right.
And then you could just keep going until somebody got
keeps going until you got a second and a third or however many places you were looking for.
And did you think that the 1.5 ratio was pretty good?
Yeah, the way he did it as a 1.5 ratio, it was so that if you went on a streak like Paul did, where you went through absolutely everybody right back to yourself, your own spot on the list, that's a win.
That's a win.
Yeah, but
you don't got to do the other half again.
But wait, can I just jump in there? I saw that match. So there was a question mark that was raised for me, and Paul went on a good run. But then Paul Talbot went on a good run and then lost to Paul Talbot.
Right. But he'd already beaten
And then Paul Talbot went on the equally good run. And then somewhere along the line with the same number of losses, like they would have met up No. So I would have thought that they met each other at different levels and at least pulled for the pull off.
But Paul Lynn had already beaten Paul Talbot the first time when he went through everybody. He didn't lose to Paul Talbot till the second way through. So
I know, but if you're creating a game on numbers, things could happen on a first match or a setup or something.
Right,
I mean,
that's where you get that strategy through of, you know, when you're going to lay down, how fresh do you want to be when you pull guy X or guy Y. You know, you're going to have to deal with that stuff. But if you go through the whole class, like he ran through Paul Talbot the first time real quick. So there's really not an argument to be made that Paul Talbot and Paul Lynn should be figuring out who's first then. Paul Lynn was clearly first.
Okay. Touche.
So, and I think the way Gary wants to do it, if he splits it into 3, we start with the lightest guys. So say we have 20 guys. We start with the lightest, and we get 2 guys that get the 30 wins. I think what Gary is saying, he wants those 2 guys to get an automatic berth into the bottom of that next weight class then.
Right.
If they were so dominant. It's going to be
if they want to pull another weight class. But if you're in a class of 20 guys, you got to do 30 wins, and then you're going to jump up a weight class and expect to do it again. You're probably not going to have a whole lot left in your arm. There's a few guys that could do it. There's some dudes that are just so dominant in their weight class, and then they pull up and they usually win there too, depending on what regions they're from.
Hmm.
You know, like Corey Miller used to do it a lot, where he'd go in and he'd pull all the way up. Now, if you've got a stud in that 220 or whatever, you're not, the guy that 165 is not going to come up and run through him too.
Hmm.
Right.
Especially if it takes 40 matches for the guy to get 30 wins in his class.
Right.
That's a tall order.
Now, you have a guy that's really good in that weight class above that might run through you, but he's not real big on the stamina and endurance. Maybe you can beat him when he tries to get through, and you're down at the very bottom of that list now.
So, Jason, you having pulled that, and you ended up in 3rd place. Is that accurate?
I was in 4th.
4th place. So how many out of that, how many matches did you end up having? Do you remember?
It was either 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
I was with 3 rounds. I forget how many guys. Do you remember how many guys there were, John?
There was at least 9. Actually, I can find out.
There was more than that. There was at least 9 in the open. There was 2 guys from each weight class. So there was 10 guys plus all the masters.
14 guys.
14 guys. Yeah. So I only had, I think it was 4 or 5 matches that I had.
Okay.
4 or 5.
So how is it that they finished there? Because when I was watching it, it seemed like it ended up in one big clusterfuck. There was nobody there actually knowing how to finish running it out.
Because there was 3 rounds only. Just 3 complete rounds of the list, Evan.
Oh, okay.
That's how Gary decided to do it.
Yeah. And then it was just most wins.
Right.
And they didn't want to see Paul on the table for 2 3/4 rounds.
Yeah, and I think that's why we need that like 1.5 ratio. That's what we need in order to just have a firm limit. Okay, you've proven that you're messing people up. We can move on.
And if you had a count, if you just had a max on the number of rounds, so say 3 rounds, automatically right off the bat, the lightweight guys have a disadvantage because they don't have an automatic 3 full rounds. They have a 2 1/4 rounds to get their wins in because they're at the bottom of the class.
Yeah, the bottom guy only gets 2 rounds.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, so I definitely think the number of wins is the way to go, and not like saying 3 rounds, 5 rounds, however many rounds.
It makes it fair for everybody instead. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly.
So weight classes are cool. Have a firm number of wins that takes you out. What about at the end of all of that? Like Evan Keller was saying, a super match at the end between those 2 guys. Would you guys rather see the 2 winners of the lightweights go up to the next class, or just duke it out in a best of 5?
I don't know.
I want to see them move up.
Move up?
Yeah, we've already seen them pull. They've already pulled at least once.
I like them moving up as well.
Winner try.
What was that, Rob? Say that one more time.
I'd like to see a confirmed winner instead of at least if there was a confirmed winner, give the guy his glory in the lightweight class, and then he can try to jump up and give it a shot, but not taking away from his spot where he belongs in the lighter class. There's weight classes for a reason. Me personally, I like to see it like if they jump up, it's interesting, but give them the glory where their class is.
So that super match idea is, I think, ideal for that smaller group of like 8 pullers or whatever. If you've already done 30 matches, do you have a decent super match left in you and you're moving up? So I think if it's the first guy to whatever 20 wins or whatever the number is decided, so it's clearly been established. Puller A is the best guy in the lightweight class. He was the first one to that win. So he got his glory. Then move him up to the next class. I agree with Evan on that. But I think if you're the guy from the lightweights who's now in the middleweights, or even you've gone through that and now you're in the open or whatever, the minimum number of wins for you maybe should be different than for the heavyweight pullers.
Interesting.
So depending on what the classes are, if it's like a 165 class, if that 165 guy is now pulling in the supers, does he still have to get 30 wins or whatever the number is? Or should it be that he only needs to get 10 or 15 because he's already gone through?
Welcome to the next class,
guys.
motherfucker. Yeah. Welcome.
No, you're just starting over in that new class.
You thought I left? I thought you were going outside to smoke that cigarette instead of burning your house down.
Burn your fucking house down.
You burned my fucking house down. It's made of concrete. Look behind me, motherfucker.
That's okay. Just make a hotter fire.
Yeah. With what? Acetylene and fucking napalm? What are you going to get?
Sure, you've got all sorts of cool shit around there I can burn.
They sure shit ain't cigarettes.
When was the last time you guys saw each other? I saw a few matches with you guys.
Oh, me and Evan?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him soon enough.
He hasn't seen me since the last time I fucking whipped him.
2019.
Last time you saw me, I had salmon shorts on and a Donkey Kong shirt.
Yeah, I remember them. They were terrible.
Sexy as fuck.
That was 2019, no?
No, it was just like a year ago. Oh, well, no, we've been in this COVID shit for over a year, so wow. It's been longer than I thought.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
A year and a half.
So August.
Where was
Early
that?
August 2019.
Yeah.
Well, we just got a super chat from Jace. He says $5 RVJ versus Evan.
Which hand?
Right hand or
I
left?
don't care. I win.
It's gotta be
I
left.
still win.
Stop with the nonsense. Don't say it. Evan,
Don't get started.
Evan,
You've been
stop.
drinking. You're ready to go on a tear.
Oh, God.
I'm going to make you cry again. We don't want to go there, Rob. I love you.
Evan, it would be huge for me if you did it, and I'll tell you why. I convinced a buddy of mine at the bottom 8 that we needed to outbid Mike Gould, who was at $750, and we put in, my buddy and I combined, put in $800 on you.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
I need, for his sanity, I need you to beat RVJ.
So wait. My left hand is increasingly, it's growing. It's like an amoeba, right? My right hand, you can't fucking touch it. So which one do you want? Do you want the ever-growing Bruce Banner of arm wrestling? Or do you want the fucking Superman fucked Wonder Woman right hand?
Look, we both know I'm just going to beat you either arm every time.
No.
So, look,
But
this
you
weight
can't
class is
show
for a
up as
reason. You just stay
Vajentikov.
down there.
We could. All right, how's this? While we're on it, I'm going to whoop Levan's ass right now. I'm going to spank Levan like my little baby bitch. I'm going to powder his little...
And then you expect people to believe anything you say. You just sound ridiculous. You're not beating Levan. You're not beating Evan. Like, we're just all going to fuck you up.
I think we just lost Rob a little bit. Rob, the tension got too high, and Rob's
happens. I start giving Rob's gears, and he just kind of leaves.
Rob, we lost your audio. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you did?
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
I was talking about powder puffing Levan's bum and spanking it on my knee. If we're going to talk that shit, let's
Oh my God.
Well,
He gets too heated. He can't handle it.
deep. Let's get rear under-pound body across my knees, and I'm going to spank and powder his bum.
please, someone, any artist out there, please, we need to see this meme in cartoon form. Please, Hector Beltran, he'd be a good one to do that.
Hector is good. Hector is a beast.
Yeah. So speaking of matches with Levan, we need to talk a little bit about Igor and if he is the smartest troll on the planet or if he's just digging himself and PAL in early grave. What does anybody have feelings on this to start?
I mean, he has to realize the hate that WAF got when they did their whole shenanigans. He has to know that,
which he was completely against.
Right? Exactly. So it is very ironic to see this side of Igor. I don't know what to think of it. I really don't.
Rob, you are no stranger to contracts with big leagues and whatnot. Are you all caught up with the whole shenanigans with Igor?
Actually, no, I'm not. I haven't been on social media to see any of it. So in this case, ignorance is bliss. I don't know any of what's going on.
So the long story short is, of course, everyone wanted to see Michael versus Levan. And that was the big talk. And some people thought we might see it in Dubai with where Michael is now. I never believed that for a second because there's no way
me neither.
Guys are going to do that unless it's a big stage and they're getting paid, right? That's the big.
Right.
But then it, of course, didn't happen. And Devin was kind of poking the bear a little bit. He was like, you guys got to pull. And I think they wanted to pull. And then Igor came out with a couple different videos, which basically said, Devin's a bum, Michael's a bum, PAL's the best, WAL sucks, and you guys can all shove it. The match ain't happening. Now, he said it in much more flowery terms than that, but that's basically what he meant.
Not if you can read Russian.
He doubled down, and he had Dennis, Dave Chafee, Vitaly Lalatin, and Levan all go on record on video and basically say the exact same thing, which was PAL, you have to follow the rules, you have to go through the top 8, you have to earn your spot, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, I don't know. This is tough.
That's a slippery slope. I mean, I can see the validity not in what he said, but in that PAL is a legit league with legit athletes. I'm a fan. But some of the politics behind it, I'm not getting it. I think we should all just arm wrestle each other. Like I come from a place that I got into arm wrestling because I was in a bar one day and I thought I was fucking strong. So why can't we just do it all day, every day, right? Like, I get it. I get that everyone's trying to get their little piece of the pie in the whole world of making money. So, fuck. If it trickles down to me, guys, throw a brother a Dunkin' Donuts coffee or something.
Right.
But at that same token, in order to get your chunk of the money, you got to let the sport blossom a little more. Like if they're expecting like big money to come into the sport, they got to let it go a little bit. They got to let it get there.
100%.
Yeah.
You'd be better off making a merger that brings everyone together and you get only 30% if everyone came together than being big dick of your own little empire getting 100%.
Right.
Being happy and bringing everyone together and creating the show and creating the empire and also creating the matches, that's why I say that arm wrestlers, not for lack of intelligence or anything, but, they're short-sighted. A lot of them are short-sighted. They only see what helps them. They're self-serving. And it's sad because if they really saw what could be a year from now, how fast did we go through a year of COVID?
Boom.
Right.
But it's been a year too, because I haven't been to practice in a year. It was like last March since I pulled Chuck Ryder. So we're in February now. A year like that. A year goes by like that. Stop being so self-serving, you selfish motherfuckers, and Oh, I got my wife yelling at me now. I'm not allowed- Never
I don't
mind.
want to get the blood pressure up too high, but so here's my perspective, just to lay this out. Igor can do whatever the hell he wants from my perspective. He owns the PAL. He has put on amazing things in the past. He has done a lot for the sport. I don't think anybody is really going to, question that perspective. But there's only two ways this is really going to go. Either Igor really, really means everything he says, and he doesn't realize that he's creating distrust and bad feelings within the arm wrestling community towards PAL, or he's the ultimate troll. And all he's doing is creating this to hype up the match, which happens in the future.
No.
I don't know.
I think the match
You're
may
on the
happen
low
in the
side of
future,
that,
but I
don't think he's playing that game.
I don't think he's a troll at all.
I do not think he's trolling. I think it's required of him in order to maintain the integrity of the PAL. Like we talked about last time, if Michael comes in, faces Levan, smashes him, then all the rest of those guys in the top 8 are now not as good as Michael. Whereas if he says you have to go through everybody, the chance is slim that Michael can pull that off. And then Igor gets to say, look, our guy is the best guy.
Burgoyne, what say you?
I think it's all horse shit. Just let everybody arm wrestle. Like, who doesn't want to find out who the number one guy is? I want to see it. I'm sure everybody here wants to watch that match.
Yeah.
So figure it out. Let them fucking pull. Like, isn't that why we all got into this sport in the first place? Just because we love doing it?
I mean, what's so crazy is literally there's not like one other person that has agreed with Igor's side of this.
Well, Dave Chafee did, but he was reading off a piece of paper. He is
Well,
a terrible actor.
Don't have to bet.
yeah, the scripts were pretty. Yeah, I don't know about the scripts.
Wow.
Yeah, considering they all said literally the exact same thing, it was a little bit of psychological manipulation as well. Because when Dennis came on, they bring Dennis on and Igor brings him in. He says, let's see what Levan thinks or what Dennis thinks about the match between Levan and Michael. And the first thing Dennis says is, oh, it's ridiculous. It's nonsense. But he wasn't talking about it in those terms. He was talking about the fact that that match would happen without a big event surrounding it. That's what he was doing. So Igor specifically edited that conversation to bolster his claims when Dennis wasn't talking about those claims in the first place, which that really pissed me off.
Mm.
Well, they were never planning on pulling when in Dubai.
No, and that was the other thing. Nobody thought that was going to happen.
Or do you guys really think what's the biggest match in the world in the heavyweight division? What do you really think it is?
Like right now, based on hype?
No, in general. Let's just talk about it. Right now means okay. So if we're going to be correct, let's watch Michael Todd's recent video where he says right now, as in today, meaning if you've got the flu, you could be the best guy in the world, but you got the flu, so you don't get included in a market. I mean, that's bullshit. Let's talk about right now, as in right now, like in a bubble of, you can't be talked about like within the same day frame of if you had a cold or something.
No idea what the fuck you just said.
What I'm saying is Michael Todd made a reason to not put Devin on the top 5 because he got sick. And he's like, I can't put him on the top 5 because he got sick.
Well, that's
But
what
I put a 280 pound.
He couldn't do anything.
But okay, so let me talk, and I'm going to explain. So if I put a 280 pound Devin on top of that list, yes, I do.
Well, Mike said a 280 pound Devin when he was in shape.
But what I'm saying is he's saying he can't put him on that list because he says right now. You're talking about like right now. And that's kind of a weird notion for me because it's almost like you're finding a loophole to make somebody not on the list this second. I didn't give much notion to it. I say Devin, the most interesting match for me, and I said on the Neil Pickup Show, I think Devin, with his brains and his elbow strength, if he knifes in and he gets heavy like he was with Wagner, he could beat Levan.
Ooh.
But do you know what happens to a person like Levan who's used to so much hand control when it's turned palm up?
Is it going to get turned palm up by Devin?
I think it's plausible.
I don't know. I would think Devin has a better shot with Levan than he does with Vitaly.
Exactly, I do. Now, Vitaly can't beat Levan, but I think he.
We know that Vitaly couldn't beat Levan that day, but
no, I think Vitaly can beat Levan. I think
that match, it was close, like a lot closer than the score shows.
Right,
100%. I agree.
We couldn't beat him that day, but there's nothing in that video when I watch it that says Vitaly can't beat Levan. It just he couldn't beat him that day.
I agree.
That's still an awesome match. I'd like to see Vitaly with Mike too.
But see, that's the thing. We don't we don't know these things, right?
I don't want to see Vitaly and Devin. That's my guy. I don't like seeing that.
I do think that Devin could beat Levan. A big Levan.
Well,
a big Devin.
The question is Devin going to be getting big again after he kind of had his whole health thing?
That's a good question.
Whenever it's time to get big again, like he's training, he's working out, he's arm wrestling, he's feeling strong as fuck right now. Even his left feels really good right now, which is odd considering he doesn't train his left ever unless there's a match coming up for it.
How much weight did he drop, Evan?
Not much. He's like 247, 248.
So he's still pretty big.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he doesn't get like terribly small. I mean, he was walking around, 225, 230 when I was cutting for the weight class stuff. But as soon as it went into the opens again, he immediately was 240 plus again. And he hasn't really gone below that. Even when he was sick, I mean, he got fat enough that he stayed above 245.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure he's just shy of 250. And I don't think we've ever seen Devin actually at 280. When he tells people that, he's full of shit.
Yeah,
I think the highest number he's ever seen on a scale, I think he said was like 276 or 277, which is pretty close.
Against Wagner.
Well, I mean, we're gonna go tit for tat, right? You're talking about a pair of boots or a giant shit.
That's true.
Sure.
So, Rob,
when you're talking about the biggest anybody's ever been and then add a little more, it's still adding more to that.
My bad. No, I'm just saying that when he's that weight, he's that good.
If you get him up to actually 280 now, which is going to be the new biggest he's ever been, can he hang with that? I don't know, man. Levan's fucking scary.
No,
Rob,
I say
what?
What?
Who's
that, Evan?
Go? Yeah, how does it go with Devin at 280? In your eyes.
Who are you asking?
He's asking me, and I say it.
I think we just lost your audio again there, Rob.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Rob, we lost you.
We can't hear you.
We lost you.
Just
you probably can't hear us either. You probably can't hear us either. Rob, we lost you.
Well,
he's dominating through here. If he carves
Rob,
it makes that motherfucker.
Rob, we lost you. We lost you.
You muted that a whole time.
Are you there?
Yeah,
we're here
over
now.
as
soon as you started, it cut out.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So if he jumps in, and if he carves in, because I don't think that Devin, even with his length and his strength, could match Levan's hand and wrist. So why do it? It's much like John Brzenk did with Clev Dean. John Brzenk had a very dominant hand and wrist, a super dominant hand and wrist. But there was one person whose hand and wrist he wasn't as dominant as, was Clev Dean. So he had to unlock a code. He had to unlock that. How am I a guy who's so dominant with my hand and wrist, have to learn to re-arm wrestle somebody a different way? You know what I mean? And that's what Devin's gonna have to do with Levan. Because the Devin's long, he's strong, and he's got a lot of top rolling capabilities. But if you try to top roll him, you lose. I think if he tops him, Devin's elbow and strength in here and his endurance is strong enough that he'll freeze him. He will.
See Devin go at him the way that he arm wrestled, say, like Jerry, where it was.
I want to see him arm wrestle him the way he arm wrestled Oleg left-handed.
Yeah.
Just straight bone.
Well,
that's how you will beat him. Watch Levan and Prudnik play around. Watch where Levan hated his life. Right. Now, Levan's a strong motherfucker. No doubt about it. But he did not like that deep bone grind because he's so used to why would he need to train that when he's so used to deep bone? When he doesn't need to deep bone grind people. He beats people through a leverage and roll standpoint. You understand?
Yeah, but if you've got one guy diving in and the other guy still staying high and out.
Like Oleg?
Right. So it's not a deep bone grind on Oleg, just on Devin.
Right.
No, but it will freeze. You run out of pad at some point.
But let's be honest, though. Let's be honest. The way he pulled Oleg and the way he pulled Jerry is not the way he's going to dive in with his shoulder against Levan because
not in round one.
He's not going to get that much shoulder in at the start.
That's what training is for. That's why you train. This is Manny Pacquiao. You watch your fucking opponents, and when we say let's be honest, it's not going to happen. We're talking about things that haven't happened yet. So this is all data that these guys will be collecting and go move forward. Can he do it? If you ask me, I got nothing to gain out of this answer, and I try to bring something that's truth. Can he do it? If somebody called me and told me that Devin beat Levan, I would have zero confusion or like surprise. Yes, I think he could. Yes. It's just a matter of if he does the right things. Can he do the right things? I don't even think Devin thinks he can do it, but I do.
Devin doesn't like going in there a whole lot either. Like he's had surgeries on his elbow several times. It's he's not 34 anymore. He's
right.
So it's getting harder and harder on him to continue that work output. So even practicing and stuff, I like that shoulder in, elbow on elbow, let's get in there and dig type of pull.
Bone deep, yep.
Yeah. And Devin just doesn't want to come in there with me at practice. Just because you start putting that kind of wear and tear on your arm and your joints, you're going to deal with all the inflammation and it's going to swell up and you're going to get sore and you're not going to be able to work out the same way again tomorrow. Which is the majority of why I think Devin does a lot of his outside stuff now is because he can keep pulling that way all night. Right. And then still go do it, hit up a new team for a new fresh practice tomorrow and just pull that same way again. But when he starts banging in with any heavyweights that actually want to go in, it gets hard on your arm. So just a training camp alone to get ready for a guy like Levan, and you can't replicate that kind of power with sparring partners. Who are you going to get to pull with you that's going to put out the force output of Levan to get there?
But then again,
you can't do it over and over again. Like your arm's just not going to hold up to that.
But I would argue that's in Devin's arsenal, sort of how like Pushkar pressed Michael Todd, and he never really did that because his press was always injured. But he used that as a last resort against Michael Todd and was successful. So Devin could use that as a last.
I could see him going to it like by round 3 once he feels he's taken enough.
Right.
Between the constant fuckery and the setups and the slip and the straps and bleeding in the straps as long as you can, and just keep working them down.
I think there's an underestimation of what that dude will become under the biggest stage to define his career. I think there's an underestimation of how hard he'll really go.
Well, at some
especially
point,
after his loss with Dennis.
At some point, there's just nothing you could do about it, though. Sometimes some dude is just way too strong for you.
I don't think that's the case.
Maybe,
We've
maybe
seen it.
not.
We've seen it with other
We'll never
guys.
see it.
We've seen it with other guys. We've seen strong, and it seems too strong because 5% seems like it might as well be 1,000,000%, but it's really not that far off.
Yeah.
Maybe. But you have no idea how close or far. Like, we're all just guessing here at whether or not a match that's never going to happen could happen. How?
Because you know why I know I'm going by science and recent research, and you guys are going by guesstimations. Everybody before him became reachable when we all thought they were untouchable. Right now, you guys are thinking he's the one of all of them that was unreachable, but he's reachable.
Yeah.
I don't think he's unreachable. I think a 2010 Devin would beat him. I just don't think a 2021 Devin will.
Fair enough.
He's not going to have that same cupping driving force, and he definitely doesn't have that same high hand game that he could have used to tire him out in those early rounds like he used to have.
I think we're going to see him lose within the next year or so. And just like all the other people that as soon as they lost, you guys skimmed past them and we found a new champion.
I mean,
Because this sport is unforgiving.
well,
This sport is an unforgiving hooker.
That's all combat sports. You're only as good as your last match.
Absolutely.
And
And
when you
that's
ask
what
me,
this sport is unforgiving.
and when you ask me what I think the biggest match is, it's not some world level event over in Dubai. It's the guy that I'm pulling 3 weeks from now. That's the one that means the
100%.
most to me right now.
yeah, and I mean, look at Gennady. Look how Gennady is training with Levan, and some of the progress that Gennady's making. That is super eye opening. I think just from their practice pulling. Obviously, we have really no data, but just looking at that's one to keep an eye on.
Gennady's
For
a bad
sure.
dude.
Yeah.
He's getting really like, oh man, he's stepped it up big time.
And not like a one trick guy. That dude goes everywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
He's done max lifts like the last 5 days in a row, and they're all insane numbers, all of them. We do have a couple super chats that I want to catch up on from Mike's Madness. Earlier in the chat, he said us smaller guys want our own weight class winner. So I'm assuming talking about the ROTN. Very good. And then he also had a second super chat for $1.99. Says match of the year, Uncle John versus Rob. Is it Vigent or Vigentikov though? Because I want Vigentikov because I want my my loss to look really.
Definitely. If I'm
Lost your audio again. Lost your audio.
Oh,
Evan, did you
We need
already
more-
light the fire?
we need more super chats to fix his internet.
Right? We need to get Rob some high speed internet over there. That is for sure. So we kind of talked about Levan and that whole debacle. We'll see where it goes. I don't think anything that great has come out of it other than the fact that we're all talking about it and everybody is talking about PAL in not such a great context, but we'll see how that works out for Igor at the end of the day. We talked about ROTN. The only thing that we haven't talked about that Gary talked about with Mike Salieris is the WAL secretly dead?
And not only that, but the no responses from WAL to PAL, like
Right.
nothing on that.
Yeah.
Well,
Dead air.
Well, there's a big difference between Steve Kaplan and Igor.
Oh,
Steve's got
Huge.
a lot of fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah.
And
Steve
realistically,
Kaplan-
how much time are you going to be putting into a league that you can't do anything with currently? It's
Right.
to him, I'm sure he's a busy dude that's got a lot of shit to do, and he doesn't give a fuck what Igor thinks.
of course.
Yeah, that's absolutely, I agree 100%. He, like, Igor saying anything is nothing to Steve Kaplan. The guy is so powerful and wealthy that it's not even on the charts. But the question is, the thing that Gary kind of brought up on his show the other night is there's been not only can WAL not really do much, but they haven't done anything to speak of on social media platforms. There hasn't really been any, like, at first they kind of tried to do like the rock, paper, scissors stuff just as something, to fill in. But it got me thinking, like, we haven't seen much other than birthday greetings and a random picture here and there. We really haven't seen anything new from the WAL. So do you guys think that they're just like in hibernation mode to survive until we're done? Or is this secretly just not coming back?
To me, I would say that that's a clear indicator that they're not done. Steve's not running that WAL page. You think somebody else is running that for free, or they're still getting paid to still keep shit posting and keep their name relevant? They're not going to keep paying people to keep doing this shit if they don't plan on opening up when they can. Unless
the closure would affect contracts.
Ooh.
How cunty can you be?
Super cunty. I'm just here to play the devil's advocate.
I've been around long enough. I've seen these guys that will go out of their way just to fuck somebody else around. Oh, fuck.
But these contracts screw up everything, and we don't have a clue what is actually in them, right? We don't know. So it's just another possibility. I don't know.
It's a possibility that maybe they will shut down whenever it comes around time, and things have just changed, and okay, well, we're not going to bring this back out. Maybe, but if they're sitting around knowing that they're not going to bring this back out, we're just fucking our contracted athletes around right now. That would be horrible. Be able to open up again. That's just super douchey. Well, we all thought they wouldn't be able to open up again after they fucked everybody around on that last tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
In 2017. And I agree. I think that WAL is still around. I think they will make an attempt to come back. But Gary did lay out a semi-interesting argument to kind of say, well, what is going on? And worst case scenario, if WAL hears that they might be dead, maybe they will make a bigger effort to not appear to be dead.
Yeah, I mean, Gary has a good point, in terms of just saying some type of message to let everybody know, a general inkling of what's expected. I get Gary's point. But I could also get WAL's, just sitting back, think about if they actually are sitting on something big that they're just waiting to announce it at the right time, and they really want to announce it all at once. And they don't want to let any cat out of the bag early, just in case they can't announce it at a certain time. So I understand both sides of the spectrum. But I mean, I do get what Gary's saying. He's just like, give us something. Give us something.
Maybe it's wishful thinking, but...
No, go ahead.
Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I do think that they're probably sitting on something, and like you're saying, being cautious not to speak too soon and then have it get canceled or postponed or whatever. The reason I say that is I agree that why would you be paying somebody, although it might be, some college intern or whatever, they are paying somebody to maintain some social media presence and whatever generates a little bit of buzz. But I also think them chiming in on the whole PAL thing and everything else will cause more pressure from arm wrestlers for them to put something on or make a statement or whatever, nullifying their ability to kind of sit on that big thing. So I think they are still around, and hopefully something's going to come of it. Mike Solaris last night on the show with Gary hinted at, I have a good feeling. That's all I'm going to say, but I have a good feeling. So I was hoping Rob could get his internet working, that we could ask him, does he know anything, or does he have any good feelings or whatever? But yeah, I guess we wait and see.
Well, Rob's up and down relationship with the WAL. If they had big things, they probably wouldn't be telling him.
Right? Yeah.
That's possible as well.
We do have anybody that does know isn't allowed to say shit.
Of course.
We do have an amazing, consistent 90 to 100 people in the chat throughout this show. So thank you guys so much. And thank you for your super chats. Of course, I'm Uncle John from Uncle John's Arm Wrestling Show, hosting here on ARMTV every Tuesday night. Call in. Have a good little conversation. We've had some good topics today. What do you guys in the chat think? Is WAL dead? Is WAL coming back? What's the score? What do people believe out there? Most people want WAL to come back just to put the SmackDown to the PAL, really, and just return something, say something back. Because imagine the swagger that WAL would get if they just came out and they put a post out that said, we would love to see Michael Todd versus Levan. Right? And if they gave the match their blessing, that could be huge. Could be huge.
I hope they do come back and they get everything full swing again. I want to see Devin and Mike again. I think Devin beats Mike in the rematch.
Has to.
Of
but
course.
I hope Levan and Mike happens first, because I want to see that while they're still number one and not have Devin's arm broken.
Right.
Yeah. And Devin's going to keep saying that Mike is number one to continue to stir that pot with PAL. He's just going to say, I don't recognize that. Mike is number one, period.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
Until somebody beats him.
Right. Exactly.
How do you argue it?
Exactly. Right.
So maybe there's also a bigger conversation here that needs to be had more about the trajectory of arm wrestling. Do you guys believe that we are always going to need the WAL and the PAL, or are we heading towards a period of time where no one needs to be signing contracts because we have other ways of doing it, whether it be the big YouTube channels or any other things where we can make the money without all the middlemen and without all the other nonsense?
Look at the TAL. Look at the TAL. Out of nowhere, Jeff Franks puts on these massive events with everybody.
Yeah.
On very little notice. So
contracts.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Who knows if they're just one event contracts, but that's what everybody seems to be hinting at, is that is like an eye opener, just having just for the event, for that match. Yeah.
Now that's a dude that I want his YouTube channel to blow up bigger than every other YouTube channel that has to do with arm wrestling.
Yeah. And look at all the sponsors he's getting.
Imagine what kind of events he could throw on if he was making that big money like that off his YouTube.
He's
throwing these crazy events now.
Right. And he just got all the camera equipment to start up that YouTube channel. So,
but we haven't seen anything on his YouTube.
Well, you're right, but he hasn't been able to do anything because he canceled the rest of the tours.
Well, you can do all sorts of things. He lives 3 minutes away from Matt Mask, who's a big name that you could use just to get things started. You're not allowed traveling internationally, but there's tons of people throughout Canada that are still going to be good. Like, you attach Devin's name to anything and the views go up. The hits go up. You get more shares, more subscribes. Like, Devin just draws on YouTube a little bit compared to every other fucking arm wrestler. And then you got guys that aren't even that good at arm wrestling that are just good in front of the camera, like John. Yeah, you look at him. He's running it.
Making the whole career out of it.
Yeah.
I still got more wins on you than you got on me, though.
You really count amateur wins as actual wins?
It's the entire lifetime. 3
2. You want to actually go through it. In our professional arm wrestling, I mean,
I've never been a professional.
Like, what,
I've never been a professional.
Months? Well, once you're not pulling amateur anymore into the open.
Hey, can I chime in for a second?
What's up, Gary?
Evan Burgoyne, it's possible for him to speak like a normal person?
Evan was
I could see that you were thinking that, Gary. I could see you thinking that.
Evan was great.
I'll be honest. I was listening to Evan. I was like, well, he can actually do this. I was, for a minute, I thought you were only good for late night television, X-rated, like.
I don't even know what fucking time you had me on New Year's Eve, but I don't remember even signing in. I was fucking hammered. And I told you that night. It's my show when I'm on here. Stay out of this, kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I heard you, and I was like, okay, he's no Uncle John, but he can do this.
I agree.
John, to
Andy-
answer your question about the requirement for the big leagues, I think no. If we go back to that hypothetical scenario we ran last time with hosting an event on a channel such as Larry's channel with 1.5 million subscribers or whatever it is, if you were to do a $2 or $3 pay-per-view, you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars potentially raised. So if a guy like that could get linked up with a guy like Jeff Frank, like imagine those major tournaments Jeff's putting on, but hosted on a huge platform like that, instantly way more views than something like a WAL or a PAL draws. I think the one thing holding us back from doing that is all of these big names that are currently in a contract for X amount of time. So yeah, we discussed that, the leagues have to have contracts in order to survive. If they weren't signing anyone to contracts, there's nothing really keeping their money safe. But if all of those pullers collectively at the end of those contracts said, we're not going to renew this time, that would be the arm wrestling community's chance to.
I don't know if I missed this part of the conversation with a potential Michael and Levan match, but I've heard you may get what you're asking for because some peeps are working really hard to get that match to happen. And it's just so maybe that it is exactly a format in what you're discussing.
So we discussed that exact thing last week, Gary, and we were saying that Ryan Bowen put this idea out there that he was saying basically you run it for $5 on Larry's channel, and let's say you get 100,000 views. That's $500,000 split equally between PAL, WAL, both athletes, and Larry. Let's say each one of them getting $100,000. Right.
Yeah. So let's just put it out there. Any promoters, you should let that match happen because it could give us a sign of what's possible. Like organizations step aside for 5 minutes and just see what could you do with, some version of live stream, pay-per-view, whatever. If there's one match in the world that you could experiment to see if it works, why not use this one during this whole pandemic thing? It's sort of like everyone coming together, agreeing to for the greater good. Let's do this. You know what I mean?
So maybe that's where the pressure needs to be, is everyone starting to pressure that scenario to happen.
Yeah.
I kind of think that the leagues do need to still exist because they're the ones that really defined how to treat arm wrestlers as more professional athletes. Like, let's be honest, they started treating them like professional athletes. So I still think they have their spot and they're still needed to continue to push that even a step or two or three or four higher.
For sure.
Has anyone talked about that? I don't think Wal's coming back. I mean,
yeah, we had a pretty good conversation about it actually.
Dude, Steve Kaplan is in Chicago. I'm thinking about getting my camera in TMZ style, going to sit outside his office or his house and be like, Gary Roberts, ARMTV, we need the inside scoop. Is Wal coming back? Following him like they do the politicians. I have no horse in this race. Steve Kaplan didn't invite me to be part of the show maybe he did. But, I could theoretically go, stalk the man and get some answers. I could.
I fully support
Let's see it, Gary.
Yeah, I'm only an hour away from Chicago. Let's see what happens. I have a question. Jimmy G said he was going to announce something on RTV. Did he come on tonight?
He has not been on yet.
See him? No.
What? He said he had a big announcement.
He was in the chat earlier, but then he never came into the waiting room.
Whoa!
I don't know. He's the one that told me to come on here because he wanted to talk to me on here.
Yeah, Jimmy G. What the hell? Where
oh
you at?
Man. Okay. Uncle John, did you turn on my thing because you're ready to go home?
Let me turn on.
Did you make any tips tonight?
I did. There was a good amount of tips there coming in at the beginning of the show. Very good. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much.
Like 90 and 100 people the whole show. Very good.
Yeah.
Good
Evan, do you have a podcast now?
No.
I've heard you and Jimmy talking about it. Are you guys doing something?
I've told everybody, as soon as somebody else wants to do the work, I'm in.
He wants to be he wants somebody else to take Gary's place, and Evan, you're the Travis. You're the Travis.
Fuck Travis. Come at me with that shit. Fuck that guy.
I mean,
Anyway.
you're not doing any work tonight. This is easy. You just launch.
I'll sit around and shoot the shit with people.
Huh.
I can hold a conversation with anything arm wrestling related. I love arm wrestling. I just don't want to sit there and have to deal with computers and editing and
yeah. This
first I
live
got to learn
stuff,
how to do it.
you don't have to edit this live bullshit.
You're not even allowed going live until you get so big.
Jason Merlot, I have some homework for you.
What is it?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Do you live near Walmart?
Yes.
Okay, for $36, I'll pay for it. I'll PayPal you $36. You go get yourself one of these. I'll show you. Hold on. You go get yourself one of these. $36, bro. And you can light your face up because you're in the dark.
I'll get a new light. Don't worry. I'll get a light. Don't worry.
It's this right here. $36. You can even mount your camera right in there. It's money. If you're gonna be a star, you gotta light the face.
I'll be better for next Tuesday. Don't worry.
All right. Okay.
Or just grow a beard so you can hide your face.
That's
Makes you look better.
What was the hot topic tonight? What did I miss?
I think we hit most of them. We talked about the Rob's curl lift. That was some pretty good stuff. We talked about WAL possibly being dead. We did figure out your ROTN problem.
Yes.
We pretty much figured it out.
You're welcome, by the way, Gary.
Evan was, I think, the key. He was the key. So here's what you do. However many guys are in the class, the amount of wins that it takes is 1.5 times the amount of those guys. So if there's 20 guys in the class, your magic number is 30. So 30 wins, and then they get booted, right? Because they're the champ. First one to 30 wins in a 20-man class. Then it goes to the next person. However many people you want to graduate up, that's how long the weight class lasts.
So why 1.5?
Because it seems to work. It's worked well for them in, where was Ontario? You did it?
Yeah, in Richmond. It was a tournament that Devin held. So the reason with the 1.5, and you can do this however you want. I mean, you want more content, you up that number to 2, do what you got to do for that. But the 1.5 worked well because it's not too many matches, right? Where people are just getting exhausted. So you're not finding out who the best guy in the class is. You're finding out who can keep arm wrestling and put their arm through the most hell.
Yeah.
So the 1.5 worked well for that. Now you have 50 people in a class. Try to rack 75 wins.
No. We're capping the class at no more than 20.
Yeah. So and then you just create another weight class? Is that how you're running it? So it's just every 20 men there's a new weight class?
Well, so Travis and I are in disagreement on this, but let's say if I had 40 guys, the weight class would be broken into the lightest 20 and the heaviest 20. So the lightest 20 would be one bracket, the heaviest 20, and let's say you'd find you'd eliminate half of them and then combine the classes, something like that. I haven't figured that part out yet. Derek Hightower, is your audio on? I don't have audio, Derek. Hey, we're going to wrap this up in just a couple minutes. I got some family time. What's on the schedule next week? What do you think's going to happen? What are the hot topics?
Maybe WAL will make a video just for you, Gary.
Yes.
So here's the deal. If you haven't figured out, if you're in the chat, I have 0 fucks to give. 0. I don't give a fuck. And you know, my thinking is, if I gotta be the sore in someone's ass to like get some answers, you know, I will do that. You know, you guys know who No Limits is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, well, he
did your song, right?
Yeah.
he wants me to play the song. So we're gonna play it on our way out. Rob Lee, on the way out of the show, not in the middle of the show. It's a minute long. Okay, Derek, who are you? What's your story?
I am my name's Derek Hightower. I am 34 years old. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
And what do you bring into the show? We only bring people on who have something to contribute. So contribute. What do you got to say?
Well, I got to say that I just started arm wrestling about a month ago, and I dove in YouTube off the high dive, and I've been going to practices. Got a practice here with a couple guys.
You muted yourself.
You muted yourself, buddy.
3 years and
wait. Hey, start over. You muted yourself. You've been going to practices.
Somebody called me. I've been going to practices.
No, that's not gonna work.
You muted yourself again, bro.
People keep calling me. I'm sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. The amount of experience varies at the practices, but I am the greenhorn for sure.
And what brings you to ARMTV? How'd you find out about ARMTV so fast?
Well,
bro.
Somebody really wants to talk to him.
Gonna boot ya.
This dude's been muted more than me.
Ever since then, I'm sorry. People keep calling my phone, bud. But
yeah, I missed that. How did you find out about ARMTV? Real quick. If
watching arm wrestling matches.
I know, but how did you get to be on our channel? You were just Googling or YouTubing?
I was YouTubing and I was watching arm wrestling. I was trying to learn more as much as I can about different workouts I could be doing or different techniques for top roll, hook, press. And basically, you know, your channel came up or somebody dropped you. I think I was watching John Brzenk or different things and I found you, man, and I love it.
SD Rummel says, Gary, stop cursing. Fuck you. No, just kidding. Hey,
no, seriously, he's right though, Gary. You got to clean it up a little bit. You can't have that kind of cussing around.
You have now sworn more than Evan Burgoyne on tonight's show, Gary.
I know. I was trying to be extreme and funny, inappropriate. SD Rummel, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
No, he's not. So fucking.
I was trying to be funny. Derek, only 1 month in the sport, and you decided to join the call-in show. What made? That's pretty ballsy.
Actually, I've never used Zoom before, and I actually didn't exactly mean to join the show like I did. I didn't realize that there were prerequisites and stuff that I needed to be able to contribute tons of experience. But hey, I'm a brand new guy. I'm on ARMTV. I'm glad I found it, and honestly, I've learned a ton about arm wrestling just from YouTube.
No, Derek, I did not say you need to contribute to the sport. I said you need to
contribute to the Zoom call. I'm sorry.
I said if you come on the show, you got to contribute some sound bites. You got to say something. So that's what I was prompting you to do. No, you could be arm wrestling for 5 minutes. In fact, if you'd only been arm wrestling for 5 minutes and found our show, you'd be like the star of the night, because that's exactly what we want to do. We're hoping new people find the show. So I have one question. Can I beat your ass?
Bam! I don't
See
know.
that? Look at that.
I'm putting my money on Derek.
I will crush bitches. Bitches.
I'm 6 foot. I got a long forearm for my height because I got the longest forearm out of everybody that practices, and I'm about 256.
So long forearm. So you're probably a top roller.
Yep, and I weigh 256.
Derek, the answer we were looking for is fuck no, Gary. I will fuck you up.
All right.
You can't let him talk to you like that. I don't care if you've only been in here a month. You can't let him talk to you like that. Get on that shit.
Eric, subscribe to Uncle John.
Subscribe. That's the first prerequisite. Subscribe to Uncle John. But Uncle John needs to say two things. First off, because I screwed up already. Number one, I didn't screw up, but Bud Emmer with a nice super chat of $5. He says swear jar donation. That's something that we should do. Swear jar donations.
Hey, look, if people get
Yeah.
a super chat every time I swear, I should be on here every time.
Oh, that's
Absolutely.
actually pretty good. That's a good idea.
Okay, I also have to ask this question because it's from Nola Mitz, and he asked me if he could send a question if I would read it, and I totally forgot about it, and here it is. And it's crazy. Imagine if a recognized national journalist decided to write an article or infiltrated one of our tournaments with the sole purpose to shame and destroy the community for breaking COVID protocols. Can this short-term growth ultimately hinder the sport's long-term growth? Are we doing more good than harm? I'm assuming he's saying, is it okay for us to be holding these tournaments right now while COVID is going on? And are we playing with fire?
During COVID and all of the lockdowns and restrictions and everything else, my team has got a very strict protocol that we follow. When everybody shows up, they get told to get the fuck out if they got a problem with. That's it.
There you go.
If you want to come at me with that mask bullshit, you can wait outside. It's kind of cold out, but not my fucking problem. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear none of this nonsense.
But what happens?
I'm not going to stop training.
And I agree with you. I don't want to stop training either. We did stop for a couple months because nobody was doing it, but I was still obviously training at home. But what happens if some CNN douchebag comes in, does an expose, and there we go? What do you got there, Gary?
Can any of you guys tell what that is?
No.
Barry Bourne?
Exactly. That's Jason Merlot. That's what I see, bitches. You better fix that light next week.
Oh,
I showed you what I see, and you can't see you.
you got it, Gary.
Well, they arm wrestled the whole weekend with a mask on, so you can't tell it's him there either.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You would get kicked the fuck out of my practice in a hurry.
You know what I'll do? I'll just beat you in the overalls. How about that, Evan?
At what?
That might be the left-handed match I want to see.
Oh, guys, no, you can't fucking do that. He's a nice guy. Look at him. He's wearing all glasses and he's cute and stuff. I don't know, fuck this guy. It's not close. That's not close. Come on now.
I think it's closer than not close.
By closer than not close, you mean not close? You're starting to confuse me. Look, I'm going to have a drink. Well, you guys think about how badly I would whoop his fucking ass. It is not fucking close.
Well, you
Jason,
should outweigh him by 100 pounds. I mean, come on.
At least.
Jason,
At least.
the best way for you to up your stock, Jason, is beat Evan left-handed the same day that he beats RVJ right-handed.
Oh, that's it. That's the end right there.
Julian, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
What-
Mic check. Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. What are you bringing to the show tonight? Comment.
Well, let's just say that I've been training. I hope you've been training, Gary.
Hey,
And,
as far as our rematch, I want it to be right-handed. You know I don't arm wrestle left, so.
I know it's gonna be right-handed. I got this.
Okay. Because my left, I can't do nothing with the left.
Hey man, excuses are like assholes. Everybody's got one, but some stink more than others.
Yeah, but I'd prefer to use my right hand because that's what I practice wiping my asshole with.
This Julian guy looks familiar, like I've met him or something.
Well, he's been on the show a few times. He's from Texas.
Yeah.
He's
Texas,
a fighter.
baby.
Oh, he's a fighter. Okay, listen, we got a special announcement. I don't know what it is, but the show's going to wrap up pretty soon because I got to get on out of this bitch. Jimmy G says he has a walnuts. Jimmy Walnuts says he has a special announcement. I want to hear what it is. So
Jimmy
we're bringing
Walnuts.
Jimmy Walnuts.
Yes.
Jimmy Walnuts. I'm asking you to unmute. Okay, listen, we got a special announcement. Oh, you got to turn off.
Turn it off, Jimmy.
Listen,
This is your first time?
We need to train. Let's train.
Walnuts. Jimmy Walnuts says he has a special announcement. I want to hear.
Turn it off.
How dare you come on this show and exhibit this level of ridiculousness?
Derek Smith. Such a fan of everyone on the show. Support. $5 super chat goes to Uncle John. Thank you,
My
Derek.
brother Derek.
We will be talking soon. Still waiting.
We need
My
to
shit's
train.
not on here. Oh, it
Let's
is.
train.
Hey, what? Why do I hear myself? I'm gonna mute.
Done. It's done. It's
How
done.
dare you?
I didn't know.
on this show.
I didn't know it was still on my
Exhibit
phone.
this
It's a
level of
fumble.
ridiculousness.
Why do I-
Derek's a big fat asshole.
Such a fan of everyone on the show.
Bumblerooski.
Gonna catch it.
Super chat goes to Uncle John. Thank
I
you.
still
My
hear
God,
myself.
Jimmy. Still waiting.
What is going on?
Jimmy, I still
We were
hear
doing
myself.
so well.
Are you playing the show on 4 different devices? Listen, turn everything off but Zoom. Jesus, for the love of God, if you're going to run your own show, you got to get with it. Okay, Derek
Derek,
Smith
this weren't you swearing at him.
Oh, Jimmy. James Gutierrez.
Okay, we're going to ask you to
And this
unmute.
dude is the one trying to teach me how to use fucking Zoom and do this podcast bullshit. And he can't even fucking figure out how to do it himself.
He
Okay,
was setting you up, Evan. He was setting you up.
I'm going to ask you to unmute. This announcement better be good. Dealing with this shit. Oh, before we unmute him, let's put him in the box here. Uncle John, can you just set us up what's going on with Cobra Roads? Plug the channel a bit.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the most exciting thing you could ever possibly imagine. 2 exciting things. Number 1, Cobra Rhodes, the man, the myth, and the legend, has started his own YouTube channel. Cobra Rhodes. Go check it out. Type it in, get over there, and subscribe to the man. He's going to be doing a lot of good stuff. Secondarily, and just as important, we begin the Cobra's Arm Wrestling review on Uncle John's Arm Wrestling show. Basically, what's happening is Cobra and I have been talking about arm wrestling for like 3 months now, nonstop, every single day. And what we're doing is we're going back in time. We're going back to the 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s, and we're looking at all the classic Cobra footage. And I'm talking to Cobra, and I'm getting the stories, and I'm getting all the inside info on all these legendary things that has happened to him in his career. And that's going to be the show. So the shows are going to be short, probably 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to be good stuff that we just filmed yesterday. And the special part of that episode was John Brzenk versus Gary Goodridge in 1991 in France. And Cobra was there coaching Gary to beat John Brzenk at that tournament. So we've got it all.
I bet Cobra's got some good stuff up in the noggin that I can't wait to hear.
Good. I can't wait. I can't wait to let it loose. I can't say when, but it is coming very soon.
Okay, Cobra Rhodes is in the chat. Cobra, I'm so proud of you for doing this. You can be here's my take. Cobra Rhodes on the table. They're like the guy's the pinnacle of confidence. Like when he went on the table, he was gonna eat you like snake. Like he just in his mind could not lose. Like that was his determination. You could feel it. You believed in it. And if you attack social media with that same kind of fire, dude, you can knock it out of the park, dude. Believe in yourself because you are a beast, and I can't wait to see that shit. Okay, Walnuts, I'm unmuting you. The shit better be good. Bring it. Walnuts.
Dude, my bad, fellas. I had it on 3 different things.
Yeah, you're an asshole.
I dropped a bomb, but it was unintentional.
Okay, so on Facebook, I see you have a special announcement to make, and then someone's like, "Are you stealing my idea or something?" I'm confused. What's going on? Did you and another dude come up with a brilliant idea, and then you're launching it, or what's going on?
It sort of happened this weekend. I was talking with a guy, Jeff Luke. We did come up with an idea. I was talking with Steve Black as well. Especially over the past 5 years, I'd say a lot of people got into the sport through Game of Arms. Would you agree? Like as far as people who weren't involved in the sport beforehand, watch Game of Arms. That's a common story I hear. And what got me about that show was, aside from the arm wrestling, it hit you in the feels in a lot of different ways. It showed you sides of these guys that you wouldn't see otherwise. I thought that was great, and I thought that was taken away from us. I want to do something like that. I want to peel some more layers back. The camera that you see that goes to all these different places, you never hear anybody's voice, but I'm going to inject myself in it. I'm going to do it myself. I had an interview with Steve Hale this weekend. His new shows he's doing, he's put right on his YouTube channel. So I don't even need a network to do this. I have contacts.
Wait. You've been doing this, so I'm confused. What's new?
I'm redirecting it to with that idea in mind. This has just been all organic as far as this far. I've had no plans other than sharing my experiences, but I have talked with some people who, if I could present a couple of different examples of it, I'm going to pitch it to a network. So what I'm saying is I want to continue traveling across the country, meeting you guys, finding out, depending on where you're at, what makes your part of the country special in regards to arm wrestling or whatever. I'm just trying to show a different side of it or dig in a little deeper without giving too much away. I would like to put out an open offer to bring me to your town, your city or whatever. And I look forward to doing that.
I believe in you. I want you to succeed, but you just went to Petaluma and did that. So I'm not sure what is different. Cause you're doing that. You went to Petaluma, you're making little mini movies.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
I mean, how is that different?
I guess it is kind of the same. It just kind of, it's turning into, that's the focus for me now going
forward. You just want to keep doing that.
Listen, I started out just doing the matches, but then it's kind of morphed into some other things. And yeah, it is kind of what I'm doing, but I'm going to dig in a little further and I'm going to do that going forward. And I'm just inviting people to, get in contact with me. If you think your area of the woods is a little more special, I'm all for that adventure. And I think compiling a bunch of those together, if I can get to the root of this thing and meet enough of you guys that really means that much to you, I think that the movie is going to write itself.
And do you work another job? What is your day?
I'm a union guy, a local Philly guy. I work a regular job for now till this.
Doing what?
Plumbing, welding.
Okay. So you work a regular job 40 a week and then you're doing arm wrestling on the side.
Yes, sir. For now.
All right, man. Dude, I hope you succeed. I don't know why you need a network if you just put it on YouTube. YouTube's the future, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grinding.
I mean, I have been kind of doing this and you guys can kind of see, but I'm formally saying when I come to your event or whatever, that's the goal in mind. So I'm looking to engage with people who want to showcase this sport and show the people who don't see it why we love it so much. I'm formally announcing that, even though I've been doing it. Yep.
And what is your YouTube channel?
A Church of Arm Wrestling podcast on YouTube.
How many subscribers do you have?
153.
Oh man, we can get you more than that. Come on,
dude. I've got more than that. And I don't have YouTube.
I haven't figured out this code yet. You got to do all these little game genie things to get. I'm going to give you a quick example. Roger Bailey put 2 videos, the same videos up. One said chin up video, one said pull up video. One video got 230 views, one got 4,500 because of one word. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't figured it up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap up the show. I thank you all. We're going to do this every Tuesday as long as Uncle John's hosting. If he gets sick or something, we bring in somebody else. Jason Merlot, you're never coming on my show again if you don't have a fucking light on your face.
Don't worry, Gary. Don't worry.
Where is he? He's going.
I cannot. It's shadow. It's shadow. Now, I bust in your balls, but ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do this stuff full time, these lights are so cheap now. They're so cheap. Home Depot. They have little kids making them over in China and stuff. And I'm just kidding. That was bad. There's a bad joke. We don't believe in that. Okay. Next Tuesday, go subscribe to Uncle John's channel. How many did we plug everyone's channel who was here tonight?
I think we did.
You want me to do that?
Rob in here. So Rob Vigent, he just got his new one. Cobra Rhodes, sent him over there. What's yours, Evan? Just Evan.
I don't fucking know.
He doesn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I post some dumb shit here and there, but I'm not a YouTuber.
You know what? I used to hate being a YouTuber, but I'm embracing it. I'm looking at like, can I beat this YouTube algorithm? And I'm gonna do everything I can to try to conquer this business. All right, guys. Oh,
Go
Hey, Gary.
subscribe
Hey,
to
Gary.
mine.
hold on. What?
Hey, Gary.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, first, I'm gonna play this song, No Limits. He wrote us for my other arm wrestling show. It's pretty badass. So you can't help but sing along. So hang out for a minute. You don't need to hang up right away because we're gonna rock out to the song. What, Jimmy?
If you're in Texas and I'm in Texas, I'd like to try that right hand.
I beat your ass, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
First off,
For me, I get
anyone
first
who
cracks.
loses to Gary does not get to arm wrestle anymore.
I know.
Well,
Okay.
you gotta keep people arm wrestling.
No.
We don't want people leaving the sport, but they're not allowed like talking in public for a while.
Yeah. That's a definite penalty.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like you have to deactivate Facebook for 90 days if you lose to Gary.
I will. That's a deal. What do I get if I win?
Nothing.
Has
Nothing.
everybody?
Nothing. You should fucking win. It's Gary Roberts.
Hey, Derek, I'm still
there's no
waiting.
prize for beating
I'm
Gary,
still
just a
waiting on
penalty
a
for losing.
response for Dubai before I bring it to a public field. We're trying to buy Derek a plane ticket, and before I talk about it on the show, I just want to. Okay, listen,
Jimmy,
we're gonna listen to this song, No Limits. Thank you. Hold on. Oh, could you guys hear it?
Nope.
No.
Negative.
Oh,
Gary,
no.
Has everybody
Gary, you
seen
fucked up.
Gennadi's channel?
Who's?
Have you guys talked about Gennadi?
Oh yeah.
We were talking about Gennady earlier.
Okay, I didn't know if I missed it. I was
Super
hoping I
free.
did.
And Derek, if you want to get good, you got to quit smoking.
Yeah, that's
If you don't got the willpower to quit smoking, oh, fuck, you're never gonna make it.
All right, there you guys. I muted you all. We're just going to say goodnight because I'm not going to friggin' unmute everyone. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I love all of you, some more than others. I'll love Jason as soon as he gets a little more light on his face.